we look at those movies from the 80s. I love my old movies from the 80s. And there's that guy in the office, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and he's working on a big project, and he's neglecting his family because he's making the bucks. And it's a classic tale. I always dreamt about being a CEO of a big company, and it turns out it's going to have to be of my own. Because I love my family. I love the flexibility. I love our life very much.
That other crazy person chattering in my mind, I call her the crazy Wendy. So the crazy Wendy's talking and saying all kinds of things that aren't true. Well, they're all bullshit. And I have to recognize that that's going to be my life unless I pay attention to it and consciously change it.
Divorce can be emotionally and financially overwhelming. That's why I'm teaming up with Sunny Wishart, president and founder of a la carte Financial and a certified financial planner. We will show you how to understand all things money without feeling ashamed, overwhelmed, embarrassed. You will learn more, ask questions. No question is a dumb question. Welcome to Money with Sunny. Let's get into it.
Good morning, Sunny.
Good morning, Wendy.
Hey, everyone. This is Money with Sunny. And today we're going to dive into values, beliefs, thoughts that impact how much money you have, how much money you make, how much you save, how you don't save, spend, how you feel about it. It's a really cool conversation. And what we hope at the end is that you'll be able to rethink your money story and envision yourself in your future and in your money future and live into that. That's what we want for you. We want you to realize what you're thinking that is not working for you, and how you can actually change that thought, change those beliefs, and create the money life that you want and that makes sense for you. So I'll hand it over to you, Sunny. What are your thoughts?
This was a big one because it's just so personal. So where I start was, let's just start from the foundation of values. So I actually just looked up the definition of values, and I'm going to read it slowly because I found this quite a bit to digest, and it was very interesting to start from there when we're talking about our money story. And how it ties in, our values tie into this. So here's the definition of values. Your values are the things that you believe are important in the way you live and work. They should determine your priorities, and deep down, they're probably the measures you use to tell if your life is turning out the way you want it to. Right?
Okay,
So
let's break it up just a little. It is, let's just unpack that a little so everybody really understands what values are, and because that is the foundation.
This is it. This was a lot for me to digest. So it's, things that you believe are important in the way you live and work. Right there. Do we know what those things are? Has anyone ever spent time thinking about that, or are we just moving in this constant motion? Then they determine your priorities. Like, that's true. And then the third component, this deep down part, this is the part where I thought, this is where I think the money really comes in too. They're probably the measures you use to tell if your life is turning out the way you want it. But that's deep down. It's a feeling. Is it necessarily a thought or a path or well thought out? It's a feeling.
So maybe start for everyone that's listening, maybe starting off with a question that you can think about is, what do you want? Are you happy with your money situation the way it is right now? We have to take a real look at where we are right now. So that's going to take a minute. You need to get out a piece of paper, you need to get out your journal, and you just really need to look at, you know, your house? Do you like where you're living? Your work, your expenses, like how much you're spending, how much you're making, how much is in the bank? Are you happy with, the freedom that money's bringing you right now, or does money have you in jail right now and it's brutal? So that's probably where I think you should start. What do you think, Sunny?
Well, the first thing as a financial planner, what I talk to clients about is what are your goals? And I had this epiphany recently, especially after reading this values definition, kind of prepping for today, that they are so linked. Your financial goals have so much to do with these values and measuring your life. Is it turning out the way you want to? Do I want to do this financial plan because I want my life to turn out this way? So when we're listing goals, they have so much to do with how you want your life to turn out.
So that people should be thinking about what they want, where they are right now, and where they want to be. Because let's face it, I know that money doesn't buy happiness. It buys stuff that makes your life more enjoyable. It buys experiences that make your happiness in life more enjoyable. But for me, money allows me to travel around the world, eat good food, visit my boys when they're on co-ops in different cities in different parts of the world. Yeah, it allows me to live in a nice home. It allows me to be able to help the people that I love in my life. They need something, I can help out. And wow, this is something that I really appreciate. Money allows me to buy education for myself, to buy learning for myself, because my biggest, greatest asset and most valuable thing that I have for me is my mind and my brain. You can take it all away, everything else. Well, don't touch my children, don't touch the people that I love. But I mean, if keeping all the important things, keeping the family, that's number one. Keeping the family, keeping the good friends, take everything else away, and I've got my brain to be able to create and to add value to people's lives and to make more money. So more money doesn't bring you happiness per se, but it does bring you happiness because you can do the things that you want to do in your life. So you can understand that it doesn't buy happiness, but you can also understand that it does make a happier person happy, or a happy person happier. That's what you have to think about. You have to think about both of those things. That's how I look at it. How do you feel about it, Sunny?
Yeah, that is always the conundrum. No, money doesn't isn't supposed to make you happy, but boy, it can be a massive wedge between you and your dreams. And how do we balance this? You don't want to be just chasing money to the expense of your values and your beliefs, because you're chasing them around. Um, but having money gives you flexibility. So, I see all kinds of goals. Some people's goals are to exit corporate and just stay home. Can I do this? Or to exit their current career and take a year off to go back to school. That is, what they're worried about most with these decisions is, can I afford to do this? Because I want to go back and further educate myself. I want to pivot my career,
Hmm.
and those things aren't free. So it's interesting how um, they are so coupled together with your happiness route and finding that journey and moving forward towards what makes you happy.
Yeah, for sure. And something that I've worked through personally is my realizing that my beliefs around money were beliefs that were put on me by my parents. They were huge, huge influences on how I thought about money. So, you know, um, great parents, by the way. But my mom was, I heard things like money is the root of all evil. I heard things like men can make lots of money, women can't. Women take care of families, they raise children, they clean, they cook, they do laundry, and they love and they give everything that they can to their kids and taking care of their husband. I heard that money is money's not easy to make. I grew up believing that money was doesn't grow on trees. I also grew up so there's some negative things, and then there's some positive things that were instilled in me. I grew up seeing that if you have money, money can buy stuff and make your experience and your time a little more fun, only now and again, because you have to keep a lot of it and have that big security blanket there, and don't ever think that it couldn't just poof disappear. So then working through all this over many years, you know, I listened to my thoughts and I listened to my beliefs, and then I just work at changing that, because and how did I do it? I just see that there's very successful women in the world that I admire, respect, and look up to, who make a lot of money. I'm a good person. I can make a lot of money. And that's the thing too. You see, I even say I'm a good person. For me, I grew up associating a lot of money with a person who is maybe not so good. They're greedy. They just have money. That means they don't care about anything else. They just care about money. Well, that's
Scrooge.
not true. So I love money. And I also care deeply about my friends and my family and my husband and lots of things. So you can have both, but it's a process, and it's an understanding of your thoughts and an understanding of your beliefs that you have to nail and figure out first. Does that make sense? Is that how do you work with people every day, all day long? Is
Mhm.
this something that you find with your clients they struggle with?
So these are, yeah, big conversations. And something I've been enjoying doing is teaching financial or teen financial literacy. I'm getting to sit down with some teens, and I am speaking to them about, what are you hearing around your home right now about money? That is the stuff that is put inside you for the rest of your life. And as you mentioned, and I grew up like this, money does not grow on trees. How have I taken that into my belief system through my whole life? Well, that means scarcity. Money is scarce. So that's kind of how it always felt. And you, and so I'm kind of trying to talk to these young adults about this. Like, it's what you really, what are you hearing? What is it? How does that make you feel when you hear your parents saying that kind of stuff? I want you to kind of remove it out and think of it on your own. Use your own, develop your own beliefs around it. Like, don't have that scarcity. And then on the flip side of the coin, our society is still lagging. Like you mentioned, for someone to have money, it's not just that they couldn't care about anything else to be rich. It's that to be rich, you had to work like a dog. You had to be corporate life. We look at those movies from the 80s. I love my old movies from the 80s. And there's that guy in the office, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and he's working on a big project, and he's neglecting his family because he's making the bucks. And it's a classic tale. And unfortunately, that classic tale is still existing in the corporate world in many ways. That if you want to work that corporate ladder, you have to it has to be number one. It has to be a priority, this career, and your family can't. They have to suffer. And I think we're blazing a trail. We're getting there. And that's how I feel. That's why I start my business, because I always dreamt about being a CEO of a big company. And it turns out it's going to have to be of my own. Because I love my family. I love the flexibility. I love our life very much. And I am going to do this, but it's all about believing I can and then moving forward from there and not limiting myself every time I wake up and every time I show up at work, just keep showing up and believing I can do it.
Hmm. Harnessing your belief. That's huge. And so many people, they want it. They maybe create a goal that says, I'm going to make this much money. I'm going to do this, this, and this. But internally, they don't believe they can. You have to believe that you can, and you have to crush those limiting beliefs little by little by little by little by little. And how do you do it? Talk to yourself. Listen to podcasts and YouTube videos such as this. Understand that even just if she can do it, I can do it. That's a good one. If you that works. If you, as soon as that little belief or thought comes into your mind that says, I can't do it. Oh, it's okay. Just no judgment. Then whip out your money story and how you feel about money now, your money philosophy. Read it. Read it again and again and again and again until you crush that little voice in your head that's saying you can't. And it just takes practice. And I do this every day. I do this every day. It's part of my morning routine. I can do it.
Mhm.
And
It's true.
yeah.
It's a practice. I last year I realized it wasn't talking, it was listening to myself. I heard the way I was talking about my business and I thought, geez, I'm not talking big about my business. I'm making sure it sounds small. And so last year I said, I listened and I realized how many times it was weaving into my words. So I quit. I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to talk like it's a growing business, a flourishing business. And like you say, it's a practice. You have to keep every day practicing. Oh, I said it again. Nope, this is not part of my vocabulary anymore. And I had an amazing year last year. Something I didn't think I could do, but I just every week I wrote my goal down on my little planner, and something about writing and looking helped. And then I removed that belittling talk from my speech, and huge changes happened.
And more to come.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You never just say, oh, cool, I know it all. Done. No, this is next level, level up, level up. It's a video game. Level up. Do it again. Do it again. Get uncomfortable. Do it again. I mean, it's awesome. And for sure, I know I am the one who gets in my way. I am the one that stops me from making more money or having more fun or doing the thing or anything. I'm the one that gets in my own way. So I work on that every day and it's a blast. It's fun. I like it. And that's what you have to do too. So, Sunny, what is your money philosophy? What is your money story? Do you have something written down that you read um, every day, or just a thought that you think about every day, or just a little story that you tell yourself? Is there something you can share with our audience just to kind of maybe we'll give them an example and then everybody can start to create their own.
So I don't have any specific one thing I do when it comes to that, but I do know it has a lot to do with when I with that, and I circle back to that money doesn't grow on trees scarcity. Removing the scarcity mindset around it, and it, within reason. I don't go crazy, but it's not feeling like saying, oh, we're broke, or oh, we're this. It's no, actually. And look at, and I am a count your blessings kind of girl. With as a family, we count ours every night and we're thankful for our day. And that just keeps that scarcity out. And we make sure be thankful for what our day provided us every day. We have a roof over our head and food on the table. Things are good.
I love that. The practice of gratitude. I practice gratitude as well. It's part of my life now. And I think that really has made a huge difference in my life. Um, there's really not anything that anyone could do to me or say to me, or that would hurt me. Uh, I I I know that people do and say mean or hurtful things because they're hurting. So it's a mindset, and gratitude and your attitude are huge. And especially when it comes to understanding your values, your beliefs, and your thoughts, and how important they are in the amount of money that you make, the amount of money that you need and want and receive, and the amount of money that you can have, the abundance versus, as you mentioned, the scarcity. This is great. So I want to leave people with a practical action step that they can take to look at their money story honestly, to understand it, and to change it. Do you have a kind of a 1, 2, 3 plan for how someone can begin to work through this? And then next week, we can talk about creating your money goals, because I think you need to understand your money story and your money philosophy first before you can move to the next step of creating your money goals. Does that make sense to you? Is that something that you agree with, Sunny?
Absolutely. I think this, circling back to the beginning, this definition of values is going to, if you can just spend some time on that, because that start with, it's deep down, it's the measure of how you want your life to turn out. So to just start with thinking about that and looking at that, and what are your priorities and where are they coming from? So many people have priorities, and they're like, well, it's really important for me to have big birthday parties for my kids. Well, why? It's okay that you do, but it would be nice to know, well, like, why is that so important to you? Why is this so valuable? Um, that helps me understand where I'm coming from with the money planning from there. This is important to them because of this. Because planning is not black and white. It's not. I could easily say, forget it, get your kid a cake and move on. But if you want to go take them to Wonderland and all their classroom of friends, we need to know why we're doing this.
So I have an awesome value exercise that I'm going to include in this video. So you'll find it below. So number one, figure out what your values are. Number two is understand what your thoughts are and your beliefs are around money. And that's going to require you to sit still every day for a few minutes for the next 7 days, writing down your thoughts around money, understanding what they are, and then asking yourself, hey, do I really believe this? Or is this just that other crazy person chattering in my mind? I call her the crazy Wendy. So the crazy Wendy's talking and saying all kinds of things that aren't true. Well, they're all bullshit. And I have to recognize that that's going to be my life unless I pay attention to it and consciously change it. So number 2 is understand, and this is a lot. I know this is a lot, everyone. Number 1, do the value exercise. Number 2, understand your thoughts, write them down. Don't judge them, just take a look at them and decide whether you believe them or not. And if you don't, oh, okay, I'm going to think this instead. Then you think that and you replace that negative, weird, crappy, stupid thought with something that you actually believe. Like Sunny said, your why. What's your why for doing what you're doing? Now, what is your belief behind the why for what you're doing, what you're doing? Those 2 things will help you to come up with a new money story. And this is a process. This is evolution. Evolution takes a bit of time. Some of us can do it in 7 days. Some of us need 7 months. It's okay. It's a process, one step at a time. You can reach out to Sunny. She's the financial expert. You can reach out to me. I'm the expert coach. You can talk to your friends. You can talk to your family. You can listen to podcasts. You can read books. All kinds of things you can do to figure this out. And one step at a time, you come up with your new money story and then start to attract all the good stuff in life. That's my suggestion for today. And then we move on to part 2. And part 2 is how to move towards creating your goals, your money goals. And then Sunny's the expert in that area. Did I miss anything? Is there a number 3, Sunny?
I think those would be good. If people were clear on those things, we can make a lot of headway with planning.
We can make a lot of headway with planning. That's great. All right. Well, I think we should leave it there today. That was great. That was a lot. If you have any questions, anyone, reach out to Sunny, reach out to me. We will help you out in every way that we can, and have a wonderful day. If you enjoyed this video and it was helpful to you at all, well, part 2 is coming up next. We'll keep you posted. But in the meantime, check out this video, the importance of the right money mindset. Thanks for being here with us today. It was a pleasure, our pleasure as always, and we'll see you again next time.